6-0.
1360.
Can you tell he's on my speed dial? I've not had to actually look at the phone physically many a
I had
times.
to look at it.
He takes care of our entire
Well, the one thing
fleet.
that Ray doesn't do is he doesn't do that simulated wood paneling on the side of a car.
Oh, he does.
I wanted that on my van.
Like the vacation series with the station wagon.
I want wood grain on the side of my van, and he wouldn't do that for me. So
Well, the
anything
only
other than
person
wood grain.
I can envision having wood grain on their car would be the guy that's sitting next to us right now.
Well, yeah, leading
Well,
up to
let's introduce this guy
got a lot
because
of super
sitting, I
serve.
feel underdressed. Is the first thing that as I sit here next to, and I struggle saying this a little bit. Superpimp. I mean, is it cool for me
Super.
to do I call you Mr. Superpimp? But
Mr. Pimp?
I'm horribly underdressed. That is, well, what is that, like a 14-piece suit? I mean, that is hands down the coolest, most posh Mac Daddy suit that I've seen in quite some time. So welcome, thanks a lot for joining us, Superpimp. Man, what? Tell us a little bit about your story. I know you, Enzo, and I know you personally. We met you years ago. I think actually at K&R.
I think that wasn't a tailgate.
Tailgate. Was it a tailgate?
Actually, I saw Super Pimp. He was cruising up and down West 6 one night, and I watching all the people just crowded around him. The energy that he was exuding from himself. People wanted to be around him. Like, who is this guy? So I had to go up and start talking. I started talking. I'm like, what's your deal? What do you do? And his story is fabulous. He's got a great story. He's got a great outlook, and it just he is Mr. Cleveland. I mean. He probably we should know him more for his dedication, his love for Cleveland. He is Mr. Cleveland, but Super Pimp. How did that name come about?
Well, actually, first of all, I want to thank everybody for having me in today, Ed and Enzo and Billy, and one of my personal heroes, Joe Charbonneau, who, by the way, on his 25th birthday, looks like he could still play today.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does.
Well, what started with me is actually it started with my fans, were really the ones who started it. I really had nothing to do with it. I just went out and was me. And all of a sudden, at work one day, one of my friends said, hey, you know, you have a MySpace page. I said, what the heck is a MySpace page? He said, we got 400-some friends on there. So I found out what that was, and I looked up on it, and I said, oh, geez. And I didn't even know for a year and a half who ran that particular site. And within a month and a half after that, I had close to 5,000 friends on MySpace. Then I got approached by an agent and started up with my Facebook, with my Twitter, with my website, and really started to bring it into the Superpimp brand, so to speak.
So with a name like Superpimp, I mean, I got to tell you, the first time I met you, I was a little intimidated by the name. I was a little confused. I was, but now that I know you personally, the story's great. The rest of it's going to make a lot of sense, and I think you need to elaborate more on not where you are today, but so much why the name Super Pimp. How does it fit? I mean, I'm sorry, I thought you were some gigolo the first time I met you. I mean, I'm looking at this guy in this suit with questionably a mustache that's better than mine, which bothers me. And actually, I'm going to challenge you one day to a mustache competition. Actually, because I think I've got you beat in that department. But I mean, hair.
There's no competition there.
You're an attractive guy.
Oh yeah.
Well, I often say I don't care if it turns purple as long as it stays up there. That's
He's got a full head of hair, and we're gonna start calling Ed Lahead.
Well, to answer your question about the Super Pimp image, that was kind of given to me. Well, actually, it started out as Rod Stewart, because I used to kind of wear my hair a little more spiked, and people thought I looked like Rod Stewart.
I can appreciate the spiked hair.
And then it went from Rod Stewart to Super Pimp, and this all morphed through the fans. I really had nothing to do with the whole thing. And I think that's really the best part of anything, is when something takes on a life of its own, whether it's your show or whatever you create. If it takes on a life of its own and leads you to where it's supposed to go, and not how you try to lead it to where it's supposed to go. So that's, and it really, to kind of clear that up about the Super Pimp name, they call me that because of the suits I wear, of course. But then I explain it as pimp means to promote. And what I promote is a good life, good family, good friends, and good times. That's the key to happiness to me, and I try to bring that to everybody as sort of the unofficial prince of positiveness.
You should run for mayor. You should run. You could be the mayor of Cleveland. I mean, people love you. I mean, you got to see Superpimp in action when he's doing his thing. There's just people. I mean, I've never seen so many people around someone trying to just hang out. Besides when I'm with Joe, because everybody loves Joe, Super Joe here. But you're doing motivational speaking now. You had a full-time job at one time, and you were doing the Super Pimp thing as a part-time thing. As you said, it took a life of its own. Started going down a road. Now it's your full-time gig, right?
That's exactly correct. This July will be 1 year since I parted ways with Progressive Insurance, and I just decided that it was time to really pursue my dream. Now I'm reaching almost my 30th birthday.
I like it.
Who's
Hey!
laughing? Who's laughing?
Hey!
It's radio; they can't tell.
So, to all your fans, okay, since Joe Charbonneau doesn't have a Twitter handle, Superpimp, what's your Twitter handle?
At Real Superpimp.
That's easy
Real.
enough.
I'll follow.
Pimp. Now, what's a typical night? How's a typical night go down? Like a Friday night. How's it start? How's it end? Where do you start? Where do you end? Or do you just like show up and just start working your way down the street, and wherever it ends, it ends?
Now that I'm doing it full time, I'm getting booked a lot for personal appearances, and as you talked about earlier, the motivational speaking. So I try to get my personal appearances in so I can go out and we all go out and promote and be yourself. I got a daughter, Kelly, to put through college, and so it's important that I kind of diversify here with everything. And I did something very exciting happened. I just got contacted by a booking agent to do a college tour, college speaking tour.
Nice.
Wow.
For motivational speaking. I'm very
And clothing too, correct? How'd the clothing? The last time we talked, I remember you were trying to fire up your clothing line because you
He's
enter
the
a-
best
you
dressed
enter
guy.
a, yeah, you enter a room and you don't have to say a word, and that's probably what I like about you best is that your clothes, your personality, your energy, your aura, all of that speaks volumes.
Well, I appreciate that very much. That's what I try to portray, because a lot of times people have an image of themselves how they would like to be when they go out and present themselves in public. Because most people are a little bit afraid of doing that. They're not really as happy as they can be. So what I try to do is to show, hey, you can go out and be whatever you want to be, express yourself the way you want, and watch the positives that comes back because people know you're real.
So Super Pimp, we gave your Twitter handle. Is there a phone number you'd like to give out over the years to get a little extra?
Well, my website is superpimp.com, and of course my Facebook is Mike Superpimp. Yeah, it's almost like my last name is Superpimp now. My first name,
Hey, you might have
first name is Mike. But I want to expound real quickly on something that Enzo said about Cleveland. I do love the city of Cleveland. It has the best resource in the world, and that resource is its people. And I'd love to be the mayor of Cleveland, or in some way be able to contribute to the ongoing success of Cleveland. My sister often said, "Well, you may not be able to do that with the name Superpimp because, like Ed said earlier, it does have
You get misconstrued.
Can be misconstrued. So it's kind of morphing now a little bit into the Mr. Cleveland, because I am
Even better.
I'm going into a lot of different charities now, of which I wanted to mention real quick the National Donor for Leukemia Association. I'll be rappelling off a 13-story building.
Have you ever done
in
this
Shaker
before?
Heights. Well, I'm scared. I'll fight a gorilla one-on-one, but on a high sidewalk, I get dizzy. So for me, this is a leap of faith to say. But I really like getting into the charity work as well as the motivational speaking, and really take what I've got now and what people have given me and use it for a positive way.
Well, that's excellent. Super Pimp, thanks for joining us. We're going to keep you around. We might be able to chime in the next segment. But we want to.
Yeah, if anybody has any questions.
Yeah, you got a question for Super Pimp, give us a ring at 216-523-1540. We're gonna be right back in a little bit. We're brought to you by RSM Automotive, 216-267-1360. You're listening to the Masters of Disaster on ESPN 1540 KNR2.
Another good out. You're getting pretty good at that, Billy.
Hey, flipping you off. Oh no, that's
Billy-
yeah, that was
Billy's